Doesn't matter where you follow it. So you're a Periscope peep and a We Are Vaxxed peep. Okay, so there she is. Now tell everyone your name.
My name is Ljubica Horvat.
Ljubica.
Ljubica.
Very pretty name. And where did you live before you lived here in America?
I lived in Germany, in Europe, and I'm German and Croatian. And I met my husband there. So he's in the military, or he's retired now, but at that time he was in the special forces stationed in Germany, and we were supposed to move, or we moved to California. He had to go to the Defense Language Institute, or that's what he wanted. So.
But how long ago did you move to California?
What's it?
How long ago did you move?
That was in 2007.
2007. So when you moved over here, that you had to have some. You thought you had to have some vaccines, or you did have to have some vaccines. Tell us what happened.
Well, I was surprised that they wanted a whole medical. I didn't know about this. I did everything by myself, so I went on the immigration side, printed everything out, and I looked what's needed. So I took my vaccination records out, and they said I needed an MMR. So,
Just an MMR?
Well, that was the
There's
only
no
thing.
such thing as just an MMR, by the way.
Yeah, an MMR. That's what they said. So I called up my doctor. So what's an MMR? We don't have that. I don't recall getting anything like that. And I had measles. My brother had mumps. And
Wait, you caught measles?
I was exposed to everything. Measles, except rubella. I don't know about that. But mumps, measles, chicken pox.
How old were you when you got measles?
I was a child, so I don't. I just recall having fever a little bit, but I was playing, and actually my nanny, she caught it, and she was saying like, oh, I think she is sick, but I was always playing and having fun, so I wasn't in bed or anything, or like.
So it wasn't a big deal having measles.
No, it was not a big deal.
What about mumps?
For me, I had a little bit fever, and my brother, though, he had more symptoms, so he had to be basically quarantined for 2 weeks or something.
Yeah.
So that's what I remember. As
Okay,
a kid,
so we've established that you come to America, you've had measles, you've had mumps, not the vaccines, the actual illnesses.
The actual illnesses, yes.
Okay. So you are then speaking to your doctor, and you told your doctor that you've actually had these conditions.
Yes. What happened? I had to. You have to pay out of pocket those things
For the
immigration.
Yeah.
And I made an appointment. I have insurance, so from the military and my own, and I made an appointment, and they tried to sell me the MMR to pay out of pocket. I didn't understand why. I told them, well, I have insurance, so I'm going to go back to the clinic on the military. I'm going to take care of it there, because I know they're going to take care of me there, and then I'm going to come back to the private doctor clinic, because it's a small base at the Defense Language Institute where we were stationed at the time, and so the clinic didn't take care of patients really, of the dependents like me, the wife from a military, from a soldier. So they source it then out basically to private practices and stuff. So you just find somebody who is on the list from the insurance. So anyway, and they told me also at the military clinic, they're trying to charge you more because they don't get as much for the vaccine as from your insurance as they would get from military insurance as they would get from you private when you pay out of pocket, because the nurse was quite pushing. It was a male nurse, was quite pushy about it, and I said like, okay, I'm gonna come another day, and I'm gonna take care at the military clinic, of this vaccination thing. And I said like, and I don't understand also, why do I need that? Because my doctor said like, we don't have it there. He can't see it. My doctor in Europe, he said like, that doesn't make sense. Why would you, we don't vaccinate it. We didn't have that vaccine at that time in Germany, as far as I remember, because I called my doctor. There was no MMR, supposedly. My doctor said like, no, we don't have that. So and I had the diseases, but they were still pushing on it, and I didn't think anything of it. I was conventionally trained as a physical therapist, and I just I didn't think anything of it. I was like, oh, perhaps, like, I don't know, like, let's then do it. And I did it.
So you went ahead and had the MMR.
Yeah, I had the MMR after all these pushing around and
Bullying.
Yeah. And so I showed them my record from the military clinic. I took my record and showed them at the private clinic, okay, here's the thing, so they can pack it up and send it to the immigration office.
Mm-hmm.
So, and what happened then, I started having strange symptoms. They called it urticaria. But what is urticaria? That's such a broad thing. Mm-hmm. Urticaria could mean I got a little rash here and it swells. Oh, now I got urticaria. But it there's different levels of it. For me, it was anaphylactic shocks the whole day on and off, and I had no idea what was going on. The symptoms were like this. I started out of the blue. Just getting like cherry big bumps in my face. It was really disfiguring when it happened. You wouldn't recognize me. And then it started swelling red. It was like millions or billions of small needles poking at my skin, my entire body.
Like burning?
The burning sensation was from the heat. It started, it was like a sinus curve. Like you could go like, heat, and when it was on the top, then I knew, now it's gonna go down. But I had to lie down. I found somehow intuitively a way of getting over it until I figured out what it was, and it took me a while.
Can you describe that pain a bit more? Because here's the thing: people like
there's
you
more to it,
are but people like you are describing the pain that our children cannot tell us about. So when they scream and bang their head after they've had the MMR, or whatever it may be, and the HPV girls, they talk about the same, like needles. Mm-hmm. We hear the same thing. So could you expand a little bit more?
Yeah, this is really terrible because a little baby cannot tell you this. I can. So here.
Thank you.
So I had it really severe. It was anaphylactic shocks. I mean, I could be in an ER every day if I didn't intuitively find out a way for me. And it was really like lying flat down, no matter where I was. I did it on the road. Wherever I was, if it started, I was on the road, legs up, next to a tree. I didn't care because I knew what was going on. I just tried to stabilize my body. So it starts with these bumps. I feel like it starts itching, and then it's red stripes and bumps, and they start swelling, so that the skin, and it looks then like a map. It starts then getting together because like like a map. Seriously, it looks like that, and it gets all red, swollen, like billions of needles, like poking you, like electricity, like poking you, and it's disgusting. You can't scratch it off. You just have to let it go over. And then, of course, because a lot of liquid got into my skin, what happened? I got my heart started racing. Then it felt like my eyes were swelling and popping out at some point. I had just peripheral vision. It started to be like on a TV screen, little dots, and then it just blurred out the central vision, so that I couldn't see. Here I could just see on the side. Okay, it made me nauseated. I wanted to puke. Yeah, it was.
It was hell.
It was hell. Yeah, I remember being on the Defense Language Institute, going down the road when the school ended and all the military students came out, and I was on the road and it started, and I just thought like, oh, now I can't see. Oh, it's ooh. And I said like, oh, and I sat down on the road. I was about to lie down, and then I said, hey, I saw on my peripheral vision, oh, there's a soldier. I was like, hey, hello, can you bring me police to the car, to the truck there? I need you to put me, lay me down because I need to put my legs on. And then I saw him going like this because he gave me his arm, and I thought like, oh, he thinks I'm blind. That was kind of scary.
Petrifying.
Yeah, so
did you go to a doctor and say, listen, look at my symptoms?
yeah, so then I went to the doctor because I have it also on file, like you know, you have to say if you have allergies. There's no history of allergies in my family at all. There's no such thing. Also in school, the only person that I knew back then was one with strawberry allergies, and they're the most pesticide sprayed fruit that you can think of. So of course, you know, if you have an allergy to strawberries, it's most likely to the pesticides than anything else. But I didn't know anybody having allergies, and so
you're talking about back in Germany?
Back in Germany.
Because you all caught the diseases, you caught all the illnesses, you caught measles, you caught mumps, you didn't vaccinate for measles, mumps.
It was just a normal thing.
Right.
People, there was no scary thing about it.
Right.
So when I got here, I was thinking, why are people so scared about all this? It doesn't make sense. So what was the question?
So you were talking about going to the doctor.
Okay, so I went to the doctor, and then there was a different doctor, and I was like, oh, I wanted the other doctor, you know, that had me first. So because it was a practice with several doctors. So anyway, I told her about the symptoms, and she looked at me, and immediately, strangely, she said it's urticaria. I was like, how does she know that right away? Like, and I said, like, you know, I can't figure out what it is, because I mean, it just started out of the blue, and it's really severe, and I have the symptoms, and I don't know what to do. I had at some points to crawl on the floor, because as I got up, I started feeling nauseated, like from my car crawling. Like if I wanted to get up, I had to crawl into the house. Yeah, that's how bad it was. You know,
and you don't have children?
No.
No. Okay, carry on.
So, and she said, she's like, oh yeah, okay, we put you on antihistamines, you know. I was like, excuse me, no. I need to figure out, I want to go to get to the bottom of this, you know. You're not going to give me antihistamines and then say this is it. Something has caused this, and I want to know what it is. And yeah, she said, yeah, I understand. She was a bit hesitant, I could see, because she just wanted, like, you know, like, oh, antihistamine, goodbye, all is going to be good, it's an allergy, or, you know, let's call it urticaria, because in your case, the symptoms is this. But that's not, I mean, that wasn't an answer for me, sorry, you know, because I went healthy in and came sick out. So, and they had no idea what it was, they couldn't help me. I started to go to an immunologist, allergist in California, and then when we moved over here on the military clinic on the Air Force Academy, I had another one. I mean, there were lovely doctors that tried to figure it out, but what are you going to do with doctors that have absolutely no clue that the vaccine is the cause and how to fix it? And that's where I was standing. I realized quick and right away, okay, they have no understanding of this. I will have to find a different path. I will have to find a different way. And so I somehow got on this alternative medical path. I started studying alternative medical literature. My house is a library of that. I had to become my own healer. And what really switched things like that was when I took care of my gut.
Right. Now, can I ask you a question, slightly personal? Mm-hmm. But a lot of the MMR victims do have messed up guts from that. Did you have the same issue?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And I got also UTIs then, you know, because it's all connected. You cannot, you know, it's the body is one thing. It manifests in different places depending where you have the weaknesses. So, yeah, so I went into this cycle where I had to get an antibiotics, then an antifungal, because, you know, it goes one and one. and then it's just a cycle. I was like, what is going on here? You know, I gotta figure this out. So I took care of my gut, and then I started realizing, wow, hold on a minute, I gotta tell people this that have the same thing. I made my own kefir.
What?
Kefir.
Yeah. That's Dr. Suzanne
milk
Land.
kefir.
She
Yeah.
loves kefir.
Well, because pills don't work. I can tell it from experience. They don't work like that. The best way is you make them fresh.
Yep.
Your kefir on your sauerkraut or whatever you want to make. You ferment it, and that really switched it like that. I mean, me from the whole day and my husband being deployed, I didn't want to bother him with that on his missions, so he didn't even I mean, he saw the worst parts, but he didn't, you know, he was out there, and I didn't want to tell him, hey, I have this, like, now getting on every day, like on and off the whole day, and it was pretty scary for me, because also my throat also started at some point swelling. It was progressing, and I had an EpiPen had to have it with me in my bag, so that's how bad it got. But when I started taking the kefir, I read about it, and that's where I started getting on the alternative thing.
So
I still didn't understand that it was the vaccine at that point. I was kind of thinking, like, the vaccine, but she said no. You know, I was like, I don't know, you know, like, what could it be? I still got an hepatitis A and B vaccine.
You what?
Hepatitis.
You got those?
Yeah.
Hep A and B. When did you get those?
After the MMR. Yeah.
Wow. How do you
Yeah.
feel after that?
I missed them. They didn't call me or something, like, and I missed them a dose.
So these are vaccines that they think you need to come into America.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So there was a whole list. I couldn't find it. I have the printouts because they change it on their website, but I have everything printed out somewhere where I have what I need.
Sorry, there's someone knocking on the door. I knew he was going to go and attend to that. Sit back a bit. You've got your head being cut off now.
Oh, okay.
So they carried on vaccinating you. Wow.
Yeah,
Even though
so-
your gut instinct was, is it the vaccine? But it's interesting
Yeah, I
that they
wrote
still
down-
say no to you, and you believe them. You're not trusting your
Well,
gut. None of us do.
You know, when you're trained, that vaccines are, I think the worst are the people that are being trained in the medical field, no matter what you're doing in the medical field, but you just have this trust. You don't think, you know, somebody is out there to hurt you or would put some toxic things in there that would actually cause disease. You really think, wow, it's all these things, that this advances in medicine.
But it's extraordinary that you'd had the illness, you'd had measles, you'd had mumps, and yet still you have the MMR.
Yeah.
I mean, we all, by the way, no one's judging here because we all have done, I mean, I'm the worst, so please know that. But it's interesting how our minds are so brainwashed.
I also have to say, like, this pro and anti, this is propagated by the media. There is no really such thing. When I talk to people, also my neighbors, and I told them I'm going to come here and I'm going to talk about this.
What, on the Vax bus?
Yeah, and I tell them openly, hey, I got a vaccine injury, and then I talk about that. I just want to spread awareness, you know, and wherever I am, I'm doing it. So they said, that's good, somebody has to do that. And I'm going like, why? I mean, you're probably still vaccinating your children, or getting a flu shot. So I have friends that have a damaged child and they are not getting it. And, I've been trying for years to tell them, autistic, then another one had unexplained strokes.
Because the media consistently say the science is settled, that this is not not true. Please don't believe wacky, crazy anti-vaxxers. It's brainwashing.
Well, I took care of myself, so I do all kinds of holistic treatments and clearing out the liver, the kidneys, the colon, nutrition. Everything is organic. It's a holistic lifestyle. I don't use cleaning products, toxic stuff on my skin. You can buy stuff, different things, and it's even cheaper if you clean just with baking soda, vinegar, lemon, essential oil.
It's fun. You put baking soda and white vinegar down the loo and watch it explode.
Yeah, so it's a lot of things. So what did I want to say?
Is there anything else you want to add to this? It's a really interesting story, and I know you were nervous, but it's a very interesting story because, for me, the fact that you had these illnesses and still yet you go ahead and have the MMR, it just shows how we can have anything.
Well, it is really crazy. I was also shocked about the medical ads that they have here in the United States on TV.
The advertisements.
Yeah, the advertisements. We don't have that. It's prohibited, or it was. I don't know how it's now where I'm from. And also then at the same time having all these advertisements about lawsuits, against those pharmaceutical companies. So that was quite shocking to me, but it explains a lot to me. And I started at some point switching off the TV, and that's the best thing you can do.
Good for you. Yes.
I spent the time really studying, all these alternative things, and it's an ongoing thing. It's my passion. I even use it on my family, my husband. He got anthrax. I saw it on his thing. I didn't get yet all his medical records, but he's now aware of it. So no more jabs for him either.
Well, he's not in the military anymore either, so it helps.
No, we are doing something completely else now. So, but and when also like with the UTIs that I got also from that, like it's a whole thing. That was where my weaknesses were, I also took care of it holistically. I never had it again, ever, and I have no problems with it ever. So there's things people can do, and it's gonna blow people's minds what you can do. It's not allopathic medicine for me is something I'm never using ever again. If I can order my tests for what I'm testing and eliminating from my body, I do it myself. What I can't order, that's the only reason when I go to a doctor and then ask, hey, in advance, can you give me that test? I want this or that test. I can't order it myself. That's the only reason. Other than that, I had swollen lymph nodes. I forgot about to tell you that. It started here, and then it started progressing. Like it always felt like my ears stuffed, like there was water in there, and it was getting uncomfortable. Also here, the pain. Yeah. And the doctor said like, oh, there's nothing. And this one time, oh, it's the altitude. I was like, altitude, really?
They make it up.
Yeah, but the thing is, as I'm cleaning, I'm doing now my 11th liver and gallbladder cleanse. That's one of my things. I saw so many, things on my body changing, and pains go away. Because I started developing pain here, also on the back and the muscles. It's just something like when you don't realize what it is, you can't tackle it. I was just blindly doing all kinds of holistic things until I realized what it really was. Then I figured it out, and then back then at the MMR insert, it didn't say urticaria. They put that in later, and also urticaria wasn't known that much. Back then, people got more and more urticaria, obviously because they got more and more vaccinated, and this is what you get. I went on urticaria groups to tell them about that, and was met with hostility because still, oh, it's all good and vaccines, and I was like, oh my. And they use also other toxic drugs to try to cure the urticaria, and I just wanted to tell them, listen, if you just take care of your gut, it's already going to change so much. But there's so much more you can do, from homeopathy to herbal medicine, diet, purified water, just change your lifestyle, and and it's a path. It's not something that you can change just like that. But as I said, this kefir thing really helped me to switch to give me a lot of time, so I could actually study and help myself. because I couldn't get anywhere help. That was just it. Like allopathic medicine, just I went in, they caused it, they can't help you, and that was my experience. It was pretty scary because I didn't know what to do, but I empowered myself.
And now, how are you feeling today? As in, generally, you now?
I feel much better. I'm not the same as I was. I mean, there's still lots that I have to do because sometimes it's like unpredictable. I can be on a bicycle and then I just all of a sudden get an episode.
Oh, yeah.
While before there were some pre-signs that I could figure, oh, I think something is coming, you know, so I can prepare myself. Like, oh, get somewhere where I can lie down or something, you know. But like this, like, ooh. And I had very often people going, oh, what's going on? Do I need to call an ambulance? I no, just let me relax and close my eyes and put my legs up.
So you know how to handle it?
Yeah, I knew how to handle it. That was something very intuitive. And yeah, thank God I knew that, because if I would have went to the ER every time, they would have just pumped me up with more toxic stuff.
Right.
You know, and that's not what my body needed.
So you know to stay away?
Yeah, I know to stay away, and also my husband. So I just, when something comes up, if anything comes up, I just take care of it like that. I have, despite all this, don't have colds really, and you know, as I said, I guess from a neighbor's kid I got human parvo. I didn't have anything. She was had to cancel even her birthday party. But I'm pretty sure I got it from her.
What is that? Human parvo?
Yeah, that's what they said, and I was like, what's
is
human parvo? So that was kind of in it. That's what it is. It's called human parvo. So.
But do you know what it is? We should start making up names for stuff, guys. Let's just do it. They just make things up.
So, and I looked it up. It's supposedly legit. I don't know. I mean, there's like
you looked it up on Google.
Yeah,
censorship.
I mean, and at the biggest encyclopedia. So anyway.
Anything but vaccine injury, peeps. That's what it is. All right, now let's sign the bus. I think we've got someone else waiting outside. You did brilliantly.
Did I?
Do you want to check your notes, see if there's anything you've missed out?
Make sure.
There is more to this story, and we're not going to talk about it because she doesn't want to talk about it. But just so you know, vaccine injury does have some real dire situations attached to it. So there are a lot of people that come and tell their story, and they tell me beforehand, you know, and this happened, but this is not something I want to discuss publicly. But you need to know, when you listen to these stories, there's probably about 50% more to it that is pretty horrific. So do be careful. Right, let me see what, while you're looking that up, these people are still watching you. I'm just going to check with the new. Hello? Good to see you.
Are we still live?
Yes, we are.
Okay.
I just left the cameras on her because she's so experienced now.
She's just having a chat with our people.
Well,
Right.
what I also wanted to say is, you know, this whole thing that's going on now, it's really not about being pro-vaccine or anti-vaccine. It's really about the freedom of choice and stopping a medical tyranny that is starting to emerge.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not going to stop there if we allow that. So it's now time to stand up, you know, and tell your stories. Everybody has now cameras.
Yeah, but it's just what we
Everybody
are
has access
launching, peeps. Yes, we are.
Everybody has access to social media, to the internet.
Right.
Just become active and tell your story. If you're scared now and we allow them to win, then how scared are you gonna be after that happens? So you really need to stand up now.
Yes,
and
you
tell
do.
your
Good
stories.
advice. All right, now Nu's getting the ladder. So, because you want to go high on the bus.
Yes, I
She's a
want.
climber. Yes, she is. She's a climber. We are going to have to start going much higher on the bus because we're getting so crowded. The bus is a little dirty, I have to admit. I'm hoping that some energetic, wonderful person will come and clean it for us.
So do we want to just do it on this side?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Right, I do need some help with these. I've got 3 cameras.
I need some water now.
Okay, now, peeps, we do have the number.
I'm gonna grab I'll grab YouTube. So
YouTube is playing up. The other
Yeah,
two
I
is
know.
like YouTube's struggling.
I'm gonna hand this to you because you're gonna have to wipe it a little bit because it's kind of dusty.
Your number is 5997.
5997.
Yeah, here's some pens. We don't know. Sometimes they don't work. Go for the one that's the.
And I know it's kind of weird when you're up there, but try to point the pen like
Okay,
downwards
I'm
as
gonna pick
opposed
this
to up.
Is that okay? Like I'm gonna go because I don't want to climb with the bag.
Yeah, right.
Oh yeah,
I didn't understand that. What?
she's leaving her purse on the bus.
Yeah, quite. That's fine. Okay. Be very careful.
Okay. That's good on the black one.
It works better on the black, but make sure you wipe down the surface.
5997.
Make sure you wipe it first.
We have had to add some more numbers.
Oh yeah. Fantastic. So
That's a nice pen.
yeah, that one works.
Oh no. Hang on. What's
So I did it.
that? Great. 5997. How do I say your name again? Yobitsa. Lovely. Beautiful. Right up there. So we'll leave the ladder out because we have a couple more stories.
Thank you so much, guys.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much. Everybody loves you very, very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, we're going to come off social media, come on with our next story, and which is already here. Okay, we'll be back in a minute, peeps.